everybody. Corey Sturkey, aka Bones to Go. We back here with another episode, another banger for y'all. I'm alongside with the team.
Michael Ryder, aka Ryder Grooms.
Gregory Sturkey, Pops.
So today, this is our first episode back filming since Vegas.
Yeah.
Since the Vegas show. Man, if you was at the Vegas show, shout out to Jay Majors for the Las Vegas Barber Expo. Shout out to Level 3. Shout out to Jimmy Fades. And what an amazing event. Something that we really put together. Like, it was really last minute. I was already booked to go speak at that show on behalf of Level 3. So that was really, really big because it was my second opportunity to speak at one of Jay Major's shows, and particularly his shows is something that I've been trying to get the opportunity to speak on just because of how big the platform is, and I know the opportunities that can come from it. So us speaking about it that week and then like just coming up collectively as a group, like, yo, like we should all, go out to the show and, just see. Then it ends up being Dad's on stage. We think of the idea to bring Dad on stage, and I run it by Jay and A-Rod, and they're like, yo, let's do it. It's just amazing to have that type of support from a huge company that put a lot of money for that space and for their company to be on that platform and to give us that opportunity to have full control and control of where we wanted to go with that hour slot was amazing. And it was, it's very humbling, because they trusted me. They trusted us to provide something of quality, and I think that says a lot about what we bring to the table as a team, and even more what it brings to the table to the industry, because that says a lot about you not having spoken at any show, and these people, just from seeing what the impact that you have on social media and in my life and Ryder's life, they was like, absolutely, let's have him up there as well. We get up there, we freaking kill it. I'm up there and I'm telling a story about how I had a speaking engagement that I was battling with my own insecurities about me not feeling like I was worthy to be on that stage, and I didn't deserve to be up there speaking because I was doing myself as just a barber. Nobody else in there has said that to me. I just adapted and embraced that idea that just because I cut hair, that the things that I had to say held no value. So I leave the show, get in the car, I'm crying, having my prayer, and the first thing I do is I'll call you on the phone. He's like, what's going on? How's it go? Of course, you're all excited because you know how big of a deal this was to me. And as any parent, they're gonna want to know what happened. It's like a kid in first day of school or first day of high school is like, yo, how was your day, man? What you learned today? I knew it.
I'm anticipating the phone call.
Yeah, I knew how you felt because I know how I feel when Kai has a big day for something or Nova has a big day. I want to know. So I couldn't imagine how it felt knowing how important that was to me. And then the phone call that you got was nothing of what you was possibly expecting to hear from me, and I'm messed up. I'm feeling like I'm beating myself up more than anything. Nobody really even said anything to me there. I just assumed that I didn't fit in because of my own insecurities and things that I really had to deal with. Then I get on the phone with you, and I'm telling you, it's like, Dad, they treated me crazy. I studied really hard for this. I wanted this opportunity, and I don't know why it didn't work out. And then you start talking to me about the imposter syndrome, and I think you said something to me along the lines of just because you're a barber doesn't mean that your story is not relatable. So I don't know, maybe you can expand a little bit more on that.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, I was anticipating that call, but I think now that I think back, the call that had came was a better call than what I was anticipating. And I would say the reason, when you called, you were broke. I mean, emotionally, mentally, you were kind of, you was under the bus when you called. But the thing is that you called and you wanted to talk about it and you wanted to deal with how you was feeling. And there was a quote I just saw, and it's by Tony Robbins, and it says, whatever you hold in your mind on a consistent base is exactly what you will experience in your life. And you had always told me that, you know, I love barbering and everything, but, you know, I'd be behind the barber chair and I'm cutting people's hair and people come sit down and they talk to me and they're telling me things. They're breaking down, they're crying. They text me back and tell me how much it has meant to me, you know, the changes that has came in their life when I'm sitting up here speaking. And I'm just listening to you. I'm excited with you because you still call me even to this day and you talk about it. So when the phone call came in and you felt the way you felt, I remembered all the conversations that you had called me about and that you had with your clients. And the value that you had given to them outside of cutting their hair. Because the real reason they came and sat in your chair, there's plenty of other barbers in there, in the barbershop, but the reason they came and they sat in your chair, because they found a place where they felt seen, heard, and understood. So when they sat there, they were able to take everything else off. They didn't have to sit in your chair and feel like I gotta cover up and I gotta do this. So as soon as that call came in, I pictured you in my head sitting in that, standing over that chair, talking to them. And the only thing I had to do was remind you of what you have always been doing. Even from a child, a young kid, I remember the first time you spoke in church. Oof. Y'all give me a minute. And as a father, you want your kids to do better than you. So when I reminded you of what you have always been doing, it was just something just to pull you back to yourself and allow you to think of where you came from. Because I watched you from a young child. Your first time they put you in front of the church and they let you speak. Until the times you told me you standing behind the barber chair and talking to people and making impacts in their life, until we went to Vegas. And Vegas was the first time I've actually seen you speak. You've told me about it. I've seen videos and everything. But as a father, I was so proud to see you standing up there speaking. But I know at the same token, that's just the beginning. But the things that you had to go through to get to that stage, that phone call was a beautiful call. Because when I reminded you, you took off. I didn't have to say a lot. I just had to remind you what was already in you, what you had been doing. And you had to go through that because you had to get rid of people's opinion and what they had expected of you. And you had to, for it to go that way, it kind of shut you down to bring you back to you. You've been doing this. These people don't know who you are. They have no clue how many lives that you have already touched. Every single time somebody sit in your barber chair, you gave them a word. You gave them some type of inspiration. And when I reminded you of that, that was it. You know, you had to go through the breakdown, you had to go through the cry, you had to work through the hurt and everything. But sometimes you just have to be reminded and take a look back. And don't forget how you got to where you are. You got to where you are. It wasn't no imposter syndrome. You got to where you are because that's what you've been practicing. That's what you consistently told yourself. I want to be a speaker. I want to be a speaker, Dad. I'm going to be a speaker, Dad. I'm behind the chair. I'm going to be a speaker. That's the whole thing you was talking about. And boom, this opportunity showed up for you. It showed up for you. But sometimes we need things like that to bring us back to ourselves.
So, I think that I still struggle with it, you know, to this day. And I think that's why when I meet people at the shows and they tell me how much, like, how inspired they are from like watching like my videos and hearing me speak and stuff. And I don't think that they understand. Like I tell them, I was like, yo, like I really appreciate it. Because every one of those people, when they do that, it's like a reminder.
It brings you, it levels you back out. It, like, just like you said, it humbles you, but it also just like keeps it like, for me, anytime I get, it's almost like hard to get compliments. I understand what you say. Like when people go, oh yeah, I'm proud of you, you're doing well, you're doing this, you're doing that. But it's also like, I'm just doing what I'm doing. But also I forget, just like how he was saying, we forget how much we're actually really doing in life and like the things that we're doing, even from behind the barber chair to speaking, to trying to make the littlest impacts on people's lives. Those things are actually, it's a lot more than what a lot of other people are doing, for one. And for two, we are making impacts and planting seeds through the actions and the things that we're doing on a regular basis, whether we know it or not. We might just think it's just something small, but to other people, that can mean the world to them.
They do. And it's like when I remember, like when I was studying for that message for Vegas, it's like I had the realization of what the purpose of that day was. You're never supposed to give that speech. Because to this day, I don't even remember what that speech was. And I remember all my messages. That is the only message that I don't remember. And I know that I wasn't supposed to say that message that day. That day I was supposed to go there to be broken. I had to go there that day and be embarrassed on that stage. So that way when God puts me on another one, I'll be prepared. And I feel like sometimes we forget how important those failures are, or those moments where you feel like you don't have any value. Because you need those moments to see your value. You need the room to be quiet. You need to have those conversations with yourself. You need to lean on your people. I thank God that I didn't get up on that stage and get to speak that day, because that message wasn't coming from a place of change. I was trying to give that message to show that I deserve to be, I should fit in here. And that was never God's purpose for me that day. My purpose was that day was to go there to see the value that Corey has. So that way when I get up on a stage like CT, when I get up on a stage in Vegas, I don't worry about if I'm supposed to be here. I know I'm supposed to be here.
That's right. That's
Because I've done the work. You know, I've studied. Vegas was so big to me. It was similar to last year when Mom got to hear me speak for the first time. And it bothers me so much sometimes, and this is veering off a little bit. And I want to say this because like a lot of people, like y'all see, I do a lot of shows and content work with my dad. And you know, I'm talking how to cut hair. I'm a speaker, I get that from him. But my mom is my biggest fan. Shamil is my biggest fan. So when I got to speak in front of her last year and to see how proud she was, that really is what like kickstarted things for me. Like getting her approval from somebody who's not a speaker, it meant the world to me, because that was my opportunity. Calling her up last year in Jacksonville was to give her flowers back for saving my life and telling me to stick with barbering. So this year, when the opportunity came for me to be able to speak and for you to be there, it was more so like, when you teach a child how to do something as a kid, you show them the base levels. You give them the foundation. Like when you teach a kid how to ride a bike. I felt like a kid that learned how to ride a bike without training wheels, and I was calling you outside to show you that I could do a catwalk.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah.
You know, it was like, you taught me how to ride the bike, and I want to show you what I did with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, God gave you this gift. You gave it to me. And it was like, when I got on the stage, like, I just wanted you to be proud.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just wanted you to be proud and see that, like, I heard everything. The lessons, the correction, the love, I heard it all. And people are watching this, it had nothing to do with Vegas. It had nothing to do with the stage. You know, it didn't have nothing to do with the amount of people that was in there. Like, that moment was so significant to me in my life because it was a goal. It was a goal, like getting told no to a lot of people, that's a reason to stop.
Yeah.
When somebody tells me no for something, for an opportunity, that's a moment of reflection for me. I take that as an opportunity to reflect, not get upset why they said no. My thing is like, what can I do so no is never a response to me again?
Yes. Yes.
What do I do so I'm not the one asking for the opportunity? The opportunities are being presented to me. I take accountability.
Yes.
And that moment, it showed me just like, this is what happens when you take accountability and you don't blame people.
Yes.
This is what happens when you show up, when you do the work, when you keep God first, when you build your community, where your values are in places of substance.
Yes.
You know? So that day was big for me. You know, that whole weekend was just huge, man. Like, man, Ryder probably saved my life.
Yeah.
He's the only friend that I've had that I can honestly say, like, no matter what, he got me wanting nothing. A genuine, like, I know I can count on him. So being out in Vegas and going over there to see him work, and now the industry is seeing the value that I've always seen in this person. That meant so much to me. I don't give a fuck about working at the booth. Like, working at the booth, that's my family. Like, we do that. Like, level 3, like, working at the booth is like, that's clockwork. I'm with my people. That I don't feel like I'm at work. You know, I don't get anxiety for shows with level 3 because the way that everything is structured, they let me be an artist. So it allows me to be Corey. So Corey wanted to see how Ryder was doing. So like going to see that, I was like, I just want to tell you, man, I'm so proud of you, bro. And I know your journey has been hard. I know it a lot more than others may never understand. But I'm so proud of you because you always show up, bro. And I know I can always depend on you no matter what. So that weekend in Vegas, man, it meant so much to me, you know?
Yeah.
And then we got all of us doing all this stuff, and then you got Lisa.
We gotta give Lisa.
You know?
People don't see on the camera.
Yeah.
Lisa's never on camera, but us, we're a mess without Lisa.
Yes.
So we need to give her flowers because even travel between keeping us in check, keeping us in line, structuring time, speaking with production, everything she does for us. I want to take this moment to give her flowers because without Lisa, we wouldn't be here for sure.
Yes.
You got a man, like, delegation is so important. She took something that was an idea and helped us turn it into a vision,
Yes.
you know, and gave us, like, made it uncomfortable.
Yes.
Still,
You know, makes it super uncomfortable, but the discomfort is when we perform at our best. And the thing about Lisa is, like, she keeps us accountable. Like, I don't worry about, I know I have Ryder and Lisa in Vegas. I have nothing to worry about.
Yes.
I have nothing to worry about. It's gonna get handled one way or the other. And that bringing it all back, like, this show just, there was so much. It poured so much into, like, my self-confidence. this past weekend. I mean, that for that show.
Yes.
Like, it did so much, and it started from that conversation on that phone, you know? And that's why we say it all the time, man. You have to lean on your people. You have to lean on your people, because I don't know where I would be if I didn't have my dad. I didn't have Ryder to constantly reach out to and lean on. And I feel like, men, we think that leaning on your people makes you weak. That's what makes you stronger.
Yeah. We need community. We need accountability is something that, you know, I say it's dangerous to be with somebody that does not want to be accountable. If you don't want to be accountable, I can't trust you. I can't trust you, because accountability, you position yourself to grow. But if you can't be accountable, I can't trust you. You know, and being transparent is something that places you in a position to grow. If you want to grow, you place yourself being transparent, accountable, and vulnerable. If you can place yourself there to where you're not the type of person, I'm hiding this. Listen, we are all messed up. We all got flaws. Everybody got flaws. But when you get to a place to where you feel like, you know, you're so this to where you don't want nobody to see this about you, then, you know, that's danger of falling. And to stay wide open and to be accountable, to be vulnerable, to be transparent, you position yourself to grow and to become a better version of yourself every day. And it's so important that the company that you keep is ones that are going to support you. And what do I mean by that? It's, you know, you come to me and you tell me, I don't care about your feelings. I'm going to tell you the truth. Either you was wrong or you was right, or you need to check that. We got into many going back and forth, and I didn't care how you felt. There were things that you needed to hear. And that's the type of, you know, people you want to surround yourself with. You don't want to surround yourself with people that agree with everything you say. Then, you know, you can't grow, you can't do nothing. There's no accountability in that.
I tell a lot of the guys that I help and like mentor and like sponsor and get sober, I'm here to save your life.
Yeah.
Here to help save your life. not help preserve your feelings. I don't care about your feelings. I'd rather care about your life.
That's right. That's right. And it's so easy for us to get caught up in feelings.
Yeah.
And people protect their feelings. They will protect them. I was talking to Lisa, my fiance, the other day, and we was talking about something where people will tell you things about what's going on with them, but they don't want you to give them feedback. So they just want to, well, here, this is what it is. All right, well, I don't want to hear this is what it is from you.
Well, what's the context of the conversation? Because that's like, I say it like this. One thing, an older gentleman told me back in the day, he said, there's two things a woman want when they come to you with a problem. They either want you to solve it or they want you to listen. And that was a very hard lesson that I had to learn, because as men, naturally, we're problem solvers. And we're extremely like persistent with it when it's coming from our woman. So with that, I had to learn to just kind of just sit back and be like, I'll ask her, I'm like, hey, do you want me to solve this problem, or you just need somebody to listen because it's overwhelming and you already dealt with the issue? Because sometimes it be that.
Yeah.
But then I also understand sometimes people just dump, and it's like, well, I just need to get this off my chest, and you're just gonna have to just deal with it.
That was the conversation.
Okay. All right. But in that case, no, hell no.
They come, they dump, but they don't want to hear your feedback.
Nah.
You know,
I don't get frustrated.
Yeah,
That's
no,
not frustrating.
I don't get frustrated. You know what I do?
frustrated.
I confront it and give them and show them, okay, you need to do A, B, and C. This is why you're getting these results. And when I tell them that, if they don't want to hear it, then guess what? That lets you know I'm no longer available
If
for
they
you
don't
to
want to
come
hear it,
to
that
me.
means they really don't want to change. They
Yeah.
just want to complain.
I'm no longer
But it's
available
not
for
even
that.
really venting. Like, usually when the person vents is because they either dealt with the situation or they want to deal with it.
Yeah.
And I don't need you to complain. If you want to complain, like,
They want to hear you justify it just as much.
Yeah, they need a partner to agree with them in their
Misery,
mentality.
misery loves company.
Yeah,
exactly,
yeah.
exactly. But on that note, we got to get up out of here. We're closing up with another episode of Conversations That Cure. Make sure y'all follow us on the gram. The page is getting motion, or it's Conversations That Cure, the same way it is on Instagram. Same way it is on Facebook. On YouTube. It is on our Instagram. We do post on there very, very, very often. Please comment, like, subscribe, share. Please, if y'all have any comment or any topics that you want us to talk about, leave them in the comment
It's on
section
TikTok
below.
too.
And on TikTok. Excuse me. I apologize about
All
that.
socials.
Also, it's been on TikTok. But I'm Bones the Goat.
Michael Ryder.
Gregory Sturkey.
Take care. Peace.